Hey, what's up, Earth? It's Spaceman Matt here to talk about Doctor Who Season 12, Episode 6, Praxeus. So Praxeus was kind of a Doctor Who version of the Andromeda strain. So there are some spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen the episode yet, you may want to stop watching now. I think overall the story suffered from sloppy script editing. It's kind of told in a disjointed fashion, as the Doctor has to connect the dots of a mysterious illness happening across 3 continents. The illness's special effect is pretty scary looking, in a combination of real makeup effects and CGI, I imagine. Probably the scariest thing that I've seen in Doctor Who in a while. The victims of this illness spread by plastic waste, and birds coming in contact with plastic waste develop shell-like sores that eventually spread all over their body, and then the victims are turned into dust. One of the things that bothers me is that the science of this episode, the Doctor's not at all concerned that the possibility of the dust from the disintegrating corpses could carry the bacteria and spread it to nearby victims. This doesn't, sometimes Doctor Who isn't always too on target with science. I think that was also true a lot with the old series too. Some things that would bother me about that. Again, there's a very good environmental protection message here, and while I think this episode is much better than Orphan 55, I feel that it didn't really drive home the point about plastic pollution, because there's so much other stuff going on with the illness and this illness that's spread by aliens, that I think that the whole point of having this being caused by plastic waste, they didn't really follow too well through with it, for me anyway. And this was the episode that they were teasing that plastic was going to be the enemy, and I think fans, old school fanboys like myself, were upset that it wasn't the Autons and the Nestine consciousness involved. I think it would have been a much more interesting story if that all that plastic ocean waste was taken over by the Nestine consciousness, and it somehow created some type of plastic monsters attacking people, and then having people think that they have the situation under control, but because there's so much plastic waste that they don't really have the situation under control, and they need the Doctor to intervene. I think that would have been a cooler story as a classic Doctor Who fan, but I think, part of the problem is that they probably have to pay somebody royalties for using the Autons, whereas if they come up with a more original idea like this, they don't have to pay anybody. There's also one of the people that they encounter, the husband of the astronaut who is infected by the illness, sacrifices himself to make sure that they can spread the antidote for the plastic disease or plastic bacteria or whatever it is into Earth's atmosphere. So he sacrifices himself in the alien spaceship, but the TARDIS, the Doctor manages to materialize a TARDIS around the guy before the ship explodes. Again, I'm thinking of, why couldn't the Doctor have done this for Adric? I think now I'm kind of wondering, gee, maybe the Doctor really didn't want to save Adric after all this time. The other thing that made me think about it was also in Spyfall, where the Doctor kind of goes back in time to give them the clues so they can rescue themselves from the plane crash. Again, I think this episode was better than a lot of season 11. I still think it's not as good as it could be, and but I'm glad it's been at least somewhat entertaining. And that special effect was really that would give me really bad dreams at night if I was a kid watching that special effect where the people just turned to dust after being infected by that illness. I thought that was particularly disturbing. All right, so I'll see you next time. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.
Subscribe to Spaceman Matt's Sci-Fi vlog today. The fate of the world depends on it, I guess.